Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Nelson for Catholic NewsBreak. Here's what's going on this week in the news. We begin from the Vatican. The Vatican Library will open its doors September 20th after a 3-year makeover. The library has gone through restructuring as well as restoration. Vatican engineers had noticed the library's floor was sagging. Even after moving most of the books, building inspectors were not convinced it was safe, so the Vatican closed the library after giving scholars only a few months' notice. There was a rush before the closing by scholars on requesting copies of books and manuscripts, and there was speculation that the renovations and remodeling would take longer than 3 years, but true to its word, the library will open in September. The Vatican Library is home to 1.6 million books, hundreds of thousands of manuscripts, and coins and medal collections. One other story from the Vatican. Cardinal Antonio Canizares Llovera, the head of the Congregation for Divine Worship and the Sacraments, wrote in an article recently that children today are maturing so quickly and are exposed to so many different influences that it might be time to consider allowing them to prepare for and receive their first communion even before their 7th birthdays. The Cardinal went on to write that today children live immersed in 1,000 difficulties, surrounded by a difficult environment that does not encourage them to be what God wants them to be. He said, "Let us not deprive them of the gift of God." The Cardinal's article marked the 100th anniversary of the decree of Pope Pius X, Quam Singulare Christos Amore, How Special Christ's Love, which reversed the decades-old practice of delaying First Communion until a child was 10 or 12. In that decree, Pope Pius said that delaying the reception of communion until long after the child reaches the age of reason, generally accepted to be about 7 years of age, was the result of the erroneous belief that the Most Holy Eucharist is a reward rather than a remedy for human frailty. In news now from around the country, the commemorative stamp of Blessed Mother Teresa of Calcutta being issued by the U.S. Postal Service was designed by acclaimed artist Thomas Blackshear II, who along with his wife Amy has made his home in the Colorado Springs area for more than 16 years. During his long and varied career, Blackshear has designed roughly 30 stamps for the Postal Service, painting everyone from civil rights activist Rosa Parks to boxer Joe Louis. The 44-cent stamp featuring the founder of the Missionaries of Charity will go on sale August 26th, what would have been her 100th birthday. The Postal Service said in announcing the stamp last December that Mother Teresa's humility and compassion, as well as her respect for the innate worth and dignity of humankind, inspired people of all ages and backgrounds to work on behalf of the world's poorest populations. And finally in the news, at the National Theology of the Body Congress held recently in Normandy Farm in Blue Bell, Pennsylvania, Cardinal Justin Regali of Philadelphia told participants that the theology of the body outlined 30 years ago by Pope John Paul II helps the world combat threats to the dignity of the human person and the sanctity of marriage. The Cardinal celebrated Mass for the participants who came from 11 countries and 111 U.S. dioceses. Those who could not travel to the Congress could watch it streamed live on the Internet. In his homily, Cardinal Regali said the theology of the body represents God's plan for humanity, in which authentic love always and everywhere takes the form of a gift of self, modeled on Christ's gift of himself to his Father. He said society today has reinterpreted human sexuality as the absolute right to satisfy every craving. Well, that is all the information we have for you at this time. Please stay with Catholic TV for more Catholic news. Until then, I'm Kevin Nelson, and I'll see you next time on Catholic NewsBreak.